not just a variety in our palates, but of course along some of our waistlines as well, that you can tell how we love our food from the length and breadth of the country. India has so much to offer. And one of the greatest things, of course, is that food from no two kitchens is ever alike. A new trend in the last decade or so has been India waking up to new flavors. A young India, a young generation that has traveled, that has seen the world, now wanting to experiment with those flavors once they are back home as well. So we're looking at the road ahead for being foodie and all those in the food business in India. Special panel with me now. Let me start with that end. Ashish Chopra, he's a culinary historian, critic and an author. Thanks Ashish for being with us. Nayanthara Bagla, executive chef at Lean Chef, someone who was very clear early on that this is what she wanted to do. Kishi Arora, pastry chef and owner at Foodaholics with us, as is Rohit Chadha, MD and co-founder at Food Panda. Thanks all so much for being with us. Let me ask you, Rohit, would you say that this is the best time to not just be a foodie, but be in the food business in India? Is business booming is basically what I want to know.
Well, absolutely. You see the number of startups that are coming up in the food industry, especially food and tech, since we combine food and technology. We provide a platform for restaurants to get discovered, etc. So I feel this is actually amazing times. We've seen so many new startups, both on the tech side as well as on the food side. People who are trying to make home chefs, get them a living. People who are trying to make menus and provide you raw ingredients of menus and just provide them at your home so that you can just cook in 15 minutes. And on the other side, you see so many new delivery outlets coming up. People who just have kitchens, who are just delivering and who just want to capture the entire breadth of the city to get that food everywhere. It's amazing the number of food startups that are coming up right now. I think it's an amazing time. Right.
It's an amazing time, Ashish. You've sort of been tracking the space for a while now. Now, like we just said, you've got people who are delivering food to your doorstep, people who are helping you zero in on what you want to eat tonight, people who are helping you get the raw material, the ingredients, and that you can cook your own meal and impress family, all of that. And of course, desserts is an all different ball game altogether. When did the transition happen?
See, for the past 10 years, I would say, a lot of youngsters have started working, both the husband, because nuclear families have come up. So the husbands and wife do not have time. So, and at the same time, they're getting a global exposure because a lot of them are working in the corporate sector. So they work hard and, whenever they have their little holidays, they tend to travel too much. And domestic help is very difficult to find. In earlier days, you had servants, you had somebody else to take care of the house, and things were far easier.
Now you're on your own. So
now you're more or less on your own, but that doesn't mean that you can't go hungry. So you are adventurous as far as food is concerned.
Right. Kishi, has that been your experience as well? You came back, you talked about moving to Delhi and finding a very different city from the one that you're working in today.
What I did was I started up an online bakery, and touch wood, it's just done brilliantly, and I'm still here. I came on a holiday, I've never gone back. So I'm happy, and I think people's perception
has also changed. What do you believe is the one thing that worked for you? You went against the grain, like you're saying.
Yes. So one thing that worked for me was because what I did was I put up a menu initially, like I did what everyone else did, put up a menu, made sure that, these are the things I make. And I realized a lot of people started copying me. The designs, the styles, but no one knew the difference of the ingredients I was using. I was using a single origin Valrhona chocolate, where there are people making the same thing with Mode chocolate, Not that anything is good or bad, but there's a difference. There's one here, there's one there. What I did was I said, okay, you know what? You want to copy me? Brilliant. How about I just change my menu every day? How about I never repeat a cake ever again? So what I make for Natasha is for Natasha. What I make for Rohit is for Rohit.
So, Nayanthara, we are at a time when, of course, business is booming for many of those in the food business. We're also going to look at how so many places are wrapping up before you even sort of hear of them or you've heard of them. That this place I drove past this, it had just been inaugurated and now it's sort of folded up. But I want to ask you, you were very clear early on that this is what I want to get into. How did you zero in on food and what was it like around you? Not just at home, but peers, colleagues?
I come from a very diverse family. So the food culture at home is both South Indian, Rajasthani, UP, and we eat out, we travel a lot, like Sir was saying, That really makes a difference. And by the time I was in about class 10, 11, my school luckily was very progressive. They did a lot of workshops and a lot of very scientific methods of finding out what career can suit your personality and what you want to be. Do you think you will be successful in that? You know, we went through a lot of psychometric tests and so on and so forth. That strengthened my belief in this. You know, post school, I went into a very unique program, which is the Systematic Training and Education Program, which is run by the Oberoi Group. And unlike regular IHMs or colleges, you don't go to college. You're picked up, you're put in the deep end, and you learn how to swim. And that's what kitchens, that's what the food industry is about. Like we're talking about places that open and shut so fast, it's sink or swim.
Ashish, what does this say to you? I mean, you know what you want to do.
Being a chef is also all about creativity. You know, you're given different ingredients and you play like an artist, like a painter, and how you create new dishes. That's how, you know, being an adventurous chef is all about. Food has, you know, has too many diversions, you know, and it is very diverse because I'll talk of India especially.
Please.
India is home to so many communities, so many religions, so many tribes. Each tribe, and our country being spiritual as it is, every celebration is followed by a meal. Every death is followed by a meal. Every birth is followed by a meal. So food is actually an integral part of our existence. It's just, you know, that because of availability of raw materials and things like that, cuisine was limited.
Rohit, we're talking about, you know, Ashish there mentioned morels, and, you know, now India is a place where people do seem to know their morels from their muscles. You know, people are not going to sort of get confused and sit back and, you know, wonder. But tell me, when you're talking about you're working in the online space, there are lots of sort of, we were discussing earlier, lots of forums, it's all out there. And the point that Kishi made, that, you know, there's also a lot of follow the leader. I was there, she was there, so I must be there too, I must check it out. How much of that do you believe also plays a role in deciding the future of say, a new venture, a new cuisine, a new attempt? It's not always just how good your product is it?
Well, I think, yes, the follow the leader approach, if you want to call it that, but it's more about trial. It's more about you wanting to try out new things, you wanting to test out and be more experimentative, which has, I think, come from global television, that has come up from the fact that we've traveled so much. The new generation has been traveling worldwide, and hence obviously they know about these new things. You know, as she mentioned, the new TV shows that have come up, the master chefs of the world, where you see your creme brulees, and that's when you find out, oh, that's something called a creme brulee. I should try it out too. Yeah. So I think that's helped people to try out a lot of new things. But coming back to your question, when you say that, okay, is food not important? No, I don't. I completely don't agree.
Right. So, Kishi, what in this kind of a competitive environment, we were talking earlier about how everyone is an expert, everyone sort of knows the ins and outs of the business and all of that. What makes someone stand out?
You can stand out when you do something different.
Correct.
So I'm assuming if you make something as your niche, you know, let's say there's so many things in a style of pastry that you do. You pick up one style, you become good at it, and you do that. That's one USP. And the other is when you know a lot of things and you use that knowledge to create something new.
You're right. Right. You know, we're talking about the role that has been played by TV. You mentioned that, and I know that we've spoken about Top Chef and all of that, Master Chef, and then they came up with Master Chef Junior, and, you know, I had all the little ones around me, you know, my children's age, just all they wanted to do was talk about Master Chef and going home and making that cupcake. Now, you know, you're working with Lean Chef. You know, like the name suggests, I would imagine healthy food, something that the North perhaps can do a bit with. How do you push your work forward? How do you sort of advertise? Is it all word of mouth? How does it work? Because you perhaps stand out a bit more than the rest.
You know, the concept of Lean Chef came around about a year ago, where two gentlemen who decided to open the business were health freaks, and they decided they wanted food for themselves. You know, I go to a gym and I want to eat out, but it's not my cheat day today. I still have to eat according to my diet. Can I eat that outside? And when you create, like she said, you know, you create a niche. And Rohit said that you bring people back. That's what Lean Chef is about. We started out as healthy food, but if I have somebody who works out day in, day out, if he eats 3 meals in Lean Chef, I'm successful. That's what the concept of Lean Chef was, that we become your everyday food.
Kishi, fair to say then that there's something that the food world is offering for everyone?
Yes, I agree. I mean, especially Delhi. I mean, today a ticket to Bangkok is cheaper than traveling to Kerala. So people go, and you know, Bangkok also is a hub. So you have people from different areas. So we have an exposure, you know, of international food. When they come back, Delhi has so much to offer. That places like Lean Chef or places that are online, or people, you know, women home chefs who, you know, my mum just started this online venture, and I'm still amazed because our kids have pushed her, and she's really happy about it. She's a Banarsi, and I don't see Banarsi food here. And it's doing well. It's doing actually, I'm keeping more busy with her work these days than my own work.
Okay.
And it does really well.
I think it's internet that's come to the rescue actually. So it's made life so much easier for home chefs, for the new restaurants, because I mean a lot of them don't really have the marketing money. They can't, you know, advertise like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut or a KFC, right?
But I know that there are still traditions dying out. Among other things, we speak on that. Ashish, we're slipping into a quick break now. Back with lots more. Remember, if you have any thoughts on this, keep SMSing us. You can also tweet us and or get onto our Facebook page as well. Back in a moment.